hello, one and all, and welcome back to the Mockeries. Say hello, the Mockeries.
Hello, the Mockeries.
Ladies and gentlemen, one and all, we're coming off of the Anathema War three-parter arc. We have had guests on. There have been long conversations had which have sort of introduced this group to some of the wider happenings of the Cygalia, this crazy chaotic world. The group have defeated Matchesha, the anathema herself, and have grown in strength. So let's do a quick recap of some of the stuff that happened last time, and then we'll see where we're at. During that battle at the end there, you guys saw a few little things happening. But mostly that was to do with Awen stuff, but there was a young high elf called Argenta who went and saved the guy called Eremias, who was the alchemist who helped to distill an antidote to Yuan T venom. They went over there. The general catapulted herself into the fight with you guys to give Awen the go-ahead to call in backup from Thorogrove, the wood elf nation directly to the west of Grendia. Matchesha was just doing her thing and just being absolutely brutal and going around and downing people left, right, and center. Thesia was actually the one to deliver the final blow. What happened was Peter Lagazi raised his sword aloft, and a wave of death emanated from the battlefield, killing all things below a certain power level. All of the soldiers and purebloods, the grass, the trees, the birds, all of that died instantly in that moment. Peter has been destroyed for the moment and his soul whisked away somewhere. Ryodon was rescued from the battlefield by Miss Prosperine, by Amelia. Word of recall sent him away to a safe location. And then the compass charged in Cloud's hands, finding the resolve to overcome the shock and trauma she was feeling in that moment after witnessing the destruction on the battlefield. She brought Thesia back up so that Thesia could deliver the mother of all killing blows. Oh my gosh. What a spectacular ending with so much damage done. So much. The feedback loop on Matchesha was destroyed when all of the purebloods were killed. So her regeneration did not bring her back. She is fully gone. And after the battle was concluded, Awen, you guys saw that everybody, all of your allies and friends that you made along the way, allies from different nations, all these people came rushing into to help clean up. They wanted to help in the actual battle, but Matchesha had been keeping them out with her own domain of magic that had prevented people from teleporting into this space within a certain radius. You saw Mockery, the Tiefling. You saw the Goliaths you guys met in Merleystone. Ebrook Burrowfound and some people from Oddmore. N, the blacksmith, and some people from Astrofeld arrived. And all of that jazz. Awen opened up a portal and took you guys through to her little cabin in the woods to get some respite. I keep doing this. I keep forgetting details. After you guys sung and led the people on the field in a beautiful memorial song for the dead. Once in her little cottage in the woods, protected from divination magic, she made you some divine tea, which has the effect of greater restoration. That's kind of cool. Sat you all down. let you guys, take a moment and rest and relax, and gently informed you of some of the wider stuff that's going on. She told you a little bit about herself and her history. She was from a world called Bator, which was taken over and renamed the Nine Hells by Asmodeus. So she fled that. She then went on to be the one who killed Lolth. All kinds of stuff happened leading up to that, but the basic sort of thing that was mentioned that sort of raised eyebrows was that if somebody is not born on Cygalia, their body does not count as Cygalian territory and therefore can be inhabited by gods. The other thing she just mentioned, which again is not relevant to you guys, is that the 10th kingdom, whose presence normally you would not be able to know about because of stipulations in this magic called the Accord, but that Moon, the Silver Scythe, is protecting you all from in this moment. The 10th kingdom is a kingdom of shapeshifters, of changelings, who infiltrate all corners of society, gathering information and intel towards a mysterious end that nobody quite knows about. So in theory, you guys have met changelings along the way, but again, not relevant to your story. She then revealed also that she had been talking to Brenial Amakir herself, that she in fact gave him the idea to help get you guys stronger so that you could better defend yourselves, but that he took that idea and twisted it into the deck of many things and the dangers that posed to you, as well as the benefits that you eventually got from it, which pissed her off, by the way. She was not happy with him after this conversation at all. She revealed, and you guys pieced together, that he seems to be trying to bring back this group of entities, this entity called the Numina Enhamir, or the Celestial Host, this ever-changing, shifting force of change, of growth and impermanence in the universe that would go around, and was in fact at war with and opposed to the Esmeran gods, the gods who were not of Cygalia, who destroyed Cloud's home. Breniel knows there are two left on his world called Vulpikar and wants to destroy them. To that end, he has manipulated your lives. He has manipulated your quest, put things in your path to help you, to aid you, toward helping him with his goals. The last little piece of, frankly, fuckery that she told you about, which again is not super relevant, is that relativity is a bitch. Basically, for Cloud, the war that destroyed her home happened about 3 years ago. On Vulpikar, for Brenial, it happened about 20 years ago because of differences in gravity and magic and all this stuff. And on Cygalia, it happened almost 700 years ago. So the people of Cygalia are in fact all refugees from the same war, but it's been much longer for them and they've forgotten about the war. Whereas Cloud is fresh out of that situation. With that, you guys had had enough, understandably. The guest rooms were opened to you. You went and had a lovely snooze, rested until morning, and Awen sent you guys off with the promise that she was going to look into as much as she could regarding Brenial, the Island of Needle, the various artifacts needed in this ritual to bring back the Numina Enhamir, etc., etc. That was maybe the longest recap we've ever done, but that was one hell of a session last time. So without further ado, we're back. Callum.
A minor further ado. How did we become more powerful? When did that happen?
That was just from the experience and the craziness of the battle with Matt Shesha that you have grown in strength.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
So for everybody at home, Theramin has fully acclimatized to the magic in his own body. His spell adjustment level is up to 9 and therefore non-relevant, is gone. He is a full level 20 character with no caveats. For the other two, their spell adjustment level is 6, so they can cast up to 6 level spells without incurring a life total punishment, and then past that, there's quite a severe tax on them that it takes as this magic bursts out of their bodies. Thesia knows that she has to go and talk to Asmodeus in order to progress her power, so that has not as of yet happened. But Cloud is a level 25 character. She is a level 20 druid and a level 5 rogue. She will not be gaining any more levels for hundreds of years to come.
I live that long, so it's fine. I'm just happy I've got uncanny dodge. And
you've got uncanny dodge. Yeah. It made sense for me that, you were progressing as a rogue for a lot of this game. It made sense that you would get to a certain level of mastery as a rogue, and the rest was like given to you by the deck of many things, which, that went really well for you.
That worked very well.
You have defeated enemies which otherwise you honestly wouldn't have fought, but would have remained out there and alive.
Which is more dangerous.
Which is more dangerous. So you are doing a heck of a lot of good in the world because of this. Oh, key day. What happens is you guys are sent back to Sessenseal. You say your farewells to Awen. She sends you off. And you go back to the city. Work is being done on the city. Clearing of bodies, the cleaning of the streets, the repairing of houses, the re-sanctifying of the ground, which has been tainted with this power of Asmodeus and of the Yuan-Ti. The civilian population are expected to arrive back in the evening because things are progressing very quickly. The Queen and Riadon are very invested in, for the sake of the people of the city, for the sake of the reputation of Gorendia, in repairing and restoring the city as quickly as possible. And the dwarves of Cold Forge and the elves of Thorogrove are helping in this endeavor, as are the Goliaths and all these people who have arrived and intend to stay for a few days. You can see that the dwarves and the Goliaths are lugging huge stones and building houses back up. You can see the elves are restoring the nature that was killed in this wave of death. Clerics and druids are just cleansing the city of this taint of Asmodeus that has been felt, and you guys can see large burial mounds are being created outside the city walls in sort of an artificial ridge in which all of the dead are being buried. Including the Yuan-Ti is what I will say, with the exception of Matt Shesha, who has been burned to a crisp. Just, there is nothing left of Matt Shesha.
Apart from I have her teeth. I said I was grabbing her fangs. How big were they? Because I completely forgot she's like 12 foot.
She was like 12 foot tall. Her head was like that big. I'll say her fangs are like that long each. They're like a good 3.5, 4 inches long.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll make a pretty necklace. And then I just woke up one night. I was like, no, they're huge. I'm not wearing that as a necklace. You could like get them into like an improvised weapon though, if you like whittled them a little bit.
Or
I have
crown.
another plan for them.
Or a
Yeah,
crown. That's a
crown.
cool idea.
That's cool. Just make a note here.
Now I'm just
Or just like a Wolverine kind of fist thing. You could.
yeah, like a gauntlet
Yeah.
with poison fangs on the end.
Oh yeah.
The crown thing though, like that's really appealed to me actually. Like just personally, I'm gonna keep that image in my head for other things maybe.
You're gonna get one.
So yeah, you guys arrive back. You know that in the evening, the city will be restored, but there's just a lot of work going on at the moment. And greeting you are Dylan and Theramin's parents, Talia and Bernard, who are just so glad to see you. You're looking restored and healed after the battle. Yeah. How are you guys doing today? And what do you guys do when you make it back to the city?
Mom, Dad. Thank you guys for waiting. I'm sorry for leaving you, but we had some business to attend to. And
No, we completely get it. You talking to some, when the person, the God Slayer asks you to come back to her house for tea, you accept that kind of invitation for sure.
I hate to say it, I was asleep for a bit of it, Mum, but it was pretty cool whilst I was awake. She's pretty badass, but I was also very tired.
It makes a lot of sense. I'm glad that you're okay, son. I'm glad that
Did
you're
Dylan
all
look
okay.
after you both?
Dylan has been a perfect gentleman. He's been very good. He's looked after us very well.
I'm just going to ruffle his hair and go, thanks, Dylan.
Dylan goes, oh, that's nice.
I think Theramin's a bit softer these days. He's definitely, his hard exterior was just like show, basically, I think, because he was like trying to walk in his dad's footsteps. But deep down, he was just lonely, I think. Now he's like
not anymore.
a bit more soppy.
Oh, well, it's really heartwarming to hear you say that. That's lovely.
Bless him.
Bless him.
I think Cloud wouldn't say anything at all, but walk past, give Dylan a firm squeeze on his shoulder as like a silent thank you. And I think she'd go and try and help bury the dead.
Yep.
I think
go and do
being buried in the like moat bit where the moat was. Did you say outside the wall?
That's full of water.
Beyond the moat.
Is it full of water still? Right, okay.
The moat is still sort of full of water. It's very sort of like muddy and like filled in. It's unclear whether that will sort of like be expanded a little bit and made permanent, or whether they'll just kind of like let that go,
die down.
Let that die down. But like nobody's made that choice at the moment. It's kind of low down on people's list of priorities. But you can see that like a temporary bridge has been has been put across, so that just making it really easy to go in and out of the city again.
Did Cloud? Did you pick up your flask? I don't know what it is. Like
the decanter of endless water.
Yeah, no, it was back in the bag of holding. We sort of let it fill up, and then I took it back and put it in.
Okay. Right.
So
cool.
If they want to use it, then that's fine. If they want to expand, can use it. But yeah, I'd probably go and help bury the dead, and just sort of like hum a very sort of melancholy tune as she goes around, not talking.
Absolutely. Yep. How about you other guys?
I think Thesia was, acknowledged Dylan and Theramin's parents. I think she would like find or go on one of the turrets that was like, or the wall that is like still intact, and just to like look out at the battlefield and like just really take in the moment of destruction. Like, obviously, when you're there fighting, and we were all focused on killing Matt Cheshire, like the surroundings were not in focus, but now she's like above it and like looking at how it went down, really.
Yeah.
And just like, oh shit.
Yeah. It's bad. You can see that the druids have like really begun to bring some of this, grass and flower and tree life back. But the devastation reached for a long way. And part of this, if you're up on this turret, you look toward the water, you can see that there's a lot of activity in the water. Looks like a lot of fish were caught in that as well, and their dead bodies were just kind of floating on the surface and needed to be cleared as well.
Question.
Yeah.
When she conjured the meteor storm, one
Yeah.
of that hit the city, didn't it?
A lot of it hit the city, especially like the central keep was completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And parts of the wall are like gone and needing to be rebuilt. And yeah.
I think I'm just going to see if anybody needs help building things. I think that the thing is, though, I'm like, compared to the Goliaths, I'm just like, do you want me to help you? Okay. And they're all just
Yeah.
like, no, it's fine.
That's all right. He's just carrying this like massive 2-ton rock. That's all right. Oh, good, really.
I could polymorph you into something if you really wanted to help.
Oh my god, yes, let's do that. What the hell are you talking? Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
Where is it?
Oh my
I know I've
God.
got it. I'm just trying to find it. So yeah. So I'm just trying to find out what I could turn you. Can I turn you into anything as polymorph? I think I can.
What's the biggest thing that has arms?
I mean, there are plenty of things.
I mean, I could turn you into something that could fly and like carry massive rocks and boulders over the city and get them.
Ooh.
Like massive rocks to rebuild the walls, or
definitely dragon, a big ass dragon, and I'll have my flock with me.
Can I polymorph him into a dragon?
Give me a sec.
Because it just says with at least 1 hit point that you can see within range into a new form.
Right. So less than the target's CR or level if it doesn't have a challenge rating. You could turn him into a young dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still pretty big,
old
pretty
dragon.
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like fires? Is there like anything on fire? What's the state of things? There's like
the fires have been
flooding.
put out.
They've been put out. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything specifically. If you turn into a young black dragon, there might be some like detritus that you could break down with acid. Like they breathe acid basically.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll polymorph you into a young black dragon. I will try and let everybody know though, like just spread the word that the black dragon is helping.
Yeah.
I've used a spell. It's Theramin. Please, no attack, black dragon. I'll just start messaging people in range as well.
Yeah.
Like just telepathically, don't kill the dragon. Don't kill the dragon.
The word spreads. The dragon is welcome. And you guys see that while everybody is very busy and clearly the focus is on the work, you guys are accepted very warmly by everybody who sees you. Everybody has kind words and thanks for you, even in the sort of the busyness. You are the heroes of this city, And everybody knows that without you guys, Matt Cheshire would not have been defeated. This is yeah, again, just sort of the situation is such that it's not like a big festive thing at the moment, but it's very clear, very obvious to you guys.
So do people, I mean, are they not like upset that, I mean, do any of them blame us for that many people dying, or is that like pretty clear that that wasn't
Cloud
avoided?
blames herself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think we all feel guilty about that, don't we? So it's
Yeah.
that's why it's quite awkward to be like, you don't thank me, like we fucked up.
Yeah.
The soldiers from the various kingdoms and the people who've come to help and the clerics and things have let everybody know that it was an Asmodeus wave of death that happened. And while how the civilians of Seal, how they feel is a little bit more up in the air, these people who are helping now really do understand that sometimes really bad shit happens and you can't stop it all. And blaming the people who helped to defeat the big bad, it doesn't make sense.
I feel like either way, those people would have, like, if we didn't do that, and we had that opportunity to turn back time and then save all those people, I think we wouldn't have then been able to beat Cheshire, and then she would have done it anyway. Or like, there's no good outcome of that. It's like
lesser evil.
You've completely accurately looked at that. Is without the wave of death, Matt Cheshire's regeneration would have made it impossible to kill her.
Yeah.
And just by virtue of outlasting you, she would have killed you and moved on to the city and killed everyone in the city.
Yeah.
So it's all evil, but it's degrees, right? Yeah.
So you've got an hour of being a black dragon, baby black dragon.
So I'm going to be moving like bits of rubble to like a pile that we can use again, and like organizing stuff. And if it can't be used, then I'm like aciding it so that it's like vomiting on it.
There's a small chuckle from Cloud. There's a small chuckle, but a chuckle.
I'm also just enjoying it and doing little loop-de-loops every now and again, just being a dragon.
people are like a little nervous when you like take to the skies, but then like see you're doing loop-de-loops and like start laughing. Yeah, this day passes, and you guys can see at a remarkable speed the city is restored. The burial mounds are completed. The walls are rebuilt. The homes are restored to their previous quality. Life returns to the oceans and lands around Seal. And in the evening, just before the sun sets, the people arrive back in their homes. This is big and crowded and chaotic, and it takes a long time for everybody to get back into. Yeah.
Can I suggest a massive like fish cook up so that we don't waste all the dead fish, so that people can eat as well? Because imagine lots
Fish
of stuff
barbecue.
Big
like
fish
everybody gets some fish like cooked up for them. A nice hearty
Like
meal.
stalls as they come in, just in case they're hungry.
Absolutely.
After a hard day of work. Yeah.
There's just this absolute mountain of like crated, recovered dead fish, and some of these cooks are like, there's no way that we can use it. It's tainted by Asmodeus. There's no way we can use it. clerics and druids and people just come and just are like purifying food and drink just all night long. And fish are prepared and cooked, and everybody who makes it back into the city gets a good old fry up.
Can I,
Absolutely.
as it's becoming nighttime, can I sit within like this burial ground? And I don't want it to do damage, but I want to use Sither's moonbeam to be like just like this burst of light as like a symbol that, you know, the people are here, and if you want to come, just like as a massive column of pure moonlight.
Like the bat signal for potential mourners.
Yeah, like a bat signal for mourners.
Just a big M.
It works for both mourners and mockeries.
Moon.
Moon.
Perfect.
Wow, is this whole campaign really just about M's? Matt Shesha?
Maybe. Matt Shesha?
Morlando coin?
Morlando. Merleystone.
Merleystone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to use it as like a beacon almost. Just
you send out this beacon, and I think that everybody, I think everyone sees this beacon, and some people make it out of the city and come to these bairns. Others come to the tops of the walls, and others crowd behind the walls, and everybody together has a moment of mourning for the dead soldiers and those who lost their lives defending them in the city. You stand.
I think if Cloud notices, like, she didn't do it for people to be instantly there, but when she notices everyone, I think, and it will be the first time she's spoken since coming back from Arwen's, these valiant soldiers, friends, brothers, daughters, sons, mothers, fathers, laid down their lives for a place they called home. We will not forget them.
That is just that phrase, we will not forget them. It's repeated row by row in a wave throughout everybody. People mourn in their own ways and then eventually disperse and go back to their homes. Having really appreciated that is something that you did, and people will, over the course of the next weeks and months, take the personal time to visit lost loved ones, but this collective mourning was really meaningful to a lot of people. You guys head back to the Independent, to your rooms for the evening. Moon gets some charges back. Do you want to roll those and see how many you get?
I've already rolled them because, oh, does he get more? Because we spent a night at, oh.
The dusk, what happened during the battle with Matt Shesha, and you spent the rest of that night at Alwyn's. So this will be the first time he's regaining, they're regaining charges since the fight.
Woo!
Yay!
Moon! I've got to find my D4 now. 1 second.
I have only just realized that I have no dice.
That's a good sign. That is a good sign.
So his charges are the things that he can like sever contracts with, and what else can they do?
He can do a lot.
There are all kinds of like little effects, really powerful effects that they can do by expending charges. But if they have all 7, they can do stuff like severing contracts and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And they have 6.
That's
No, wait.
6.
They have 5. Not
Yeah,
6.
I was like, that's
Impossible.
that's more than I allowed.
Yeah, no, 5. Sorry.
No, that's all good.
First
Maxing
time
out
rolling
their
dice this
D4.
session.
Which
Brain
means
hurts.
the next day it's guaranteed that they'll be at full capacity again. Great. Dusk comes. You guys go back to the Independent. And it is at this time that you discover that there are some things in your packs that you did not put there. Each of you
Presents.
have
Presents.
2 potions of healing,
Ooh.
which,
Yes.
because Awen has a lot of practice making these, each restore 2d4 plus 3 hit points when you drink them. You can drink a potion of healing as a bonus action or administer it to somebody else as an action.
Right. So
So
it's 2d4.
Yeah.
potions.
Plus
3?
3. Additionally, Cloud, in your pack, Awen's Robe of Displacement has been gifted to you.
Oh, baby!
And last but not least, there are letters which Awen has handwritten to each of you, which I'm going to send to the Facebook group chat.
Oh, wow.
Because Alberta actually wrote letters to each of you. Alberta,
She is the best.
She's
Actually-
so wholesome, and
I mean,
love her.
like the actual Alberta.
the actual Alberta. Give me one sec.
Oh.
So is this the same robe that Theramin has?
This is the robe with the same effect as the one that Theramin has. Yeah.
Yes.
And what we're gonna do, because it would be such a shame, to
Oh wow.
yeah, each of you has one, and then on the reverse of Clouds, there's a section addressed to everyone, written in illusory script, so nobody else can read it. So it is very personal to you. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna read them to you, because it would be such a shame for these letters not
Can I
for
just?
the audience not to know what is said
I need-
here.
How do I?
Oh.
Okay. They look so sick. Like the.
Yeah, I really want to be able to show them off. They're
Look at that.
amazing.
They are.
It's like all weathered.
Like they are so cool.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
These are just great.
It's amazing.
So we're gonna start.
Sick.
Let's read these out. The letter to Theramin reads, Theramin, I regret that we were unable to speak more before you had to leave, though I understand that bone-deep weariness that often follows a large battle, and I know that yesterday's was just another in a long line of them for you all. It is my sincerest hope that we'll be able to speak more soon. I'm sure you've had a lot of very interesting experiences. I would also love to properly meet your parents sometime. They seem to have raised a very brave young man, one with a sense of style and humor alongside that bravery and generosity, which I can appreciate. I tip my proverbial hat to you for that, good sir. Though I have not spent much time with you one-on-one, I have a feeling that you've overcome much, perhaps much more than you are given credit for, or may even realize. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you, but you're a formidable young man. I look forward to seeing what you do going forward as you continue to carve out a place for yourself in this world. Best, Awen.
Oh.
Next, there is a letter to Thesia, which reads, Thesia, I have mentioned already that I consider what happened to the Hectlyle pits to be my greatest regret, one of the biggest losses in that war. I mean this not in the sense that the most people were lost during it, or I was most bereaved by it. That kind of loss I had already felt 1,000-fold by that point, and would come to feel many times over again, both in war and outside of it. No, this was a loss because it was so overwhelmingly not a win. Despite what people would tell in the folk tales, what bards would sing in their songs, despite the fact that, yes, if what had happened hadn't happened, we would have faced far greater losses in the Battle of Derrigal had the Cybriac Iker made it to the capital successfully. The Heclile pits were not a win. Sometimes in life, our actions lead to far more loss than we could have anticipated. And even if we think we've prepared for the worst, even if we think we are reconciled to the violence and the death and the utter silence that follows the horrors and devastation, there are often consequences, both foreseen and unforeseen, on which we will reflect for days, sometimes even years to come. We cannot change the past. This is somewhat of an oversimplification of which you well know, having seen the things you've seen. But regardless, even if decisions made can be undone, they were still made in the first place. But if there is something in our past we aren't happy with, then the best thing we can do is not to dwell on it, but simply remember and reflect and decide whether, if faced with a similar situation going forward, we would do things differently. And if so, how? I know there is no love lost between you and your people, so perhaps these explanations and reflections seem strange and unnecessary. Forgive me for that. Regardless, I think perhaps you understand what I'm trying to say here. If you would ever like to talk about such things, I'd be more than happy to listen. I've never been one to tell people how to live, and I doubt I will ever be in nature, but I have a couple of centuries or so of experience, and I'm not usually particularly judgy, unless it's the fun kind of judgy. I'm here for that as well. We mostly drank tea last night for a reason, but I have lots more adult beverages for when the occasion calls for it. And my friend runs a winery on the side, so there's always lots more where that came from. All the best, and hold tight to your friends in this time, and know that the offer to count me amongst them is there, should you wish. Best, Alwyn.
Aww. Oh, she's the cutest. She's so sweet.
Hidden via illusory script within the text of Thesia's letter, there is this section which the other two do not hear. I don't know for certain what I saw on that battlefield yesterday, but I have my suspicions, and I have a knack for those. This is not a condemnation by any means. I understand that mechanically, it was important that the feedback loop between Madshesha and those who believed in her needed to be cut off in order to prevent her from regenerating. Though I can't say I would have done the same thing in the same way. I can understand why you did what you did. I also suspect that perhaps you didn't realize the full extent of what would happen. I could be wrong on that last, but in my experience, devils are tricky buggers when it comes to deals, and unless worded exactly right, they will take advantage of any openings left in phrasing and manipulate the intent to align with theirs. Again, I might be wrong on that. Perhaps what occurred is exactly what you intended, but I'm certain you didn't intend for some of the emotional fallout to what happened. Regardless of where your actions and intent fall in the grand scheme of alignment, and I have little regard for such things. Frankly, most of us fall in a gray area, and to be honest, those that don't are usually more than a little boring, and nearly always the ones behind most of the hate in this world. The bond you have formed with your friends is clear. It's obvious that you love them. As such, I don't think you realized how what happened would affect Cloud as profoundly as it did. Or if you did, you now regret that particular effect, even if you regret none of the others. If you are blaming yourself for that, though, do not do so. And lastly, we have, not lastly, because there's a letter to Cloud, and then the reverse of that is a letter to all of you. Dear Cloud, I have left your letter for last because I find I don't quite know what I want to say. Or rather, I have so much to say, I don't know how or even if I can in a single letter. My darling, I am so, so sorry for all that you have gone through. Gods, the fact that you are still standing, still fighting, still joking, still sly and witty and angry, rightfully so, is so damn near miracle and a testament to what the true nature of your spirit is. Do not let that fire go. That being said, if you want to break down, if you want to sleep for days on end and cry out to the gods, the weave, to anyone or anything that might be listening, no one would blame you. In fact, you would be well within your right to do so. For some, it is needed. And for you, I would gladly sit vigil by your side while you slept and keep you safe from the world around you if you decided you needed to take some time to yourself. Not to be on guard, on edge, on lookout. All you need to do is ask. All I ask is that you do not drown that spark in tears, but hold it close and let the ember keep you warm, so that when you're ready, the fire can be lit again, and you can burn like the brightest of stars I have seen you do. In elven society, we put a lot of stock in stars. The story goes that the elves were not the first race on their planet, but the trees, who were the first race of them all. And one day a tree fell in love with a star, and so the elves were born. My mother, Anathema, was named for the stars, maiden of the starry face. My father, who did not know these stories, and nor did I until I was much older, when my parents were already gone and I was only just starting to interact with elven society in any considerable way, he used to tell her that her eyes were like asters, a flower named after the stars. My boat, which you saw yesterday in the lake you sat by, was made by my father and named by me for my mother and for the stars. I've never been one much for fate. I have too much belief in choice and individuals' actions for that, but I am one for connections. And I would be lying if I said I didn't believe there was power in symbolism. Yesterday, I walked out of my cottage to find you, who have wandered the stars and embodied them in battle, sitting there by that boat, which is from the very same world I fled from, and now sits here in my new home. And it was as if a solemn bell had been struck within me. I could not help but stand there a moment, just taking it in. Cloud, know that I will do all that is in my power to reunite you with your people and find a home for you all. Not because I feel I owe you for all you have done, not even because I like you, though know that I do, but because everyone deserves a home. And that you and your people do not have one right now makes me so profoundly sad and angry that I would move mountains to make things right. I can hear the first of you stirring upstairs, so I shall sign off here. I will be in contact in the days to come, following up on some of the things we spoke of last night. In your packs, you'll each find 2 potions of healing. I hope you'll find them useful, though I hope you have no reason to make use of them. I felt that perhaps it was better that I give you my gifts directly this time. Best, Onwin. And then last, on the back, in illusory script that only you can read, all 3 of you. I know you were worried about potential for anyone to be a member of the 10th Kingdom last night. In my experience, the people of Melacania tend to stay out of affairs that do not directly pertain to them and their goals, preferring to sit back and watch. That being said, due to their secretive nature, the extent of which I know their goals is limited. I know they fear humans for their power and numbers, and their tendency to fear things which they can't comprehend, and they wish them dead for the threat they pose because of that. The Accord both serves them and works against them in this, as it protects them from being discovered or remembered by the humans of Cygalia, but also stops them from completely annihilating the human kingdoms. If you are not poking into the 10th Kingdom and its peoples themselves, or asking too many questions openly about the Accord, they would not risk getting more overly involved in what you are doing than not, given the fact that you yourself are able to remember them and your friends can by virtue of your scythe. Unless they are looking to make a much larger play, it would be an unwise risk to expose themselves that way. That being said, the powers of the scythe, the the Scythe has to interact with the Accord in the way it does poses a risk to themselves, and that is something to be aware of. I'd recommend not advertising those particular details and keeping your discussion of the 10th Kingdom and anything relating to the war as private as possible. The phrasing of the Accord is that, quote, the Esmeran gods and the Numina and Hamir, including their people of Melikan and their soldiers, the Ashmedai, shall be forgotten. End quote. Any discussion of such things in public may tip them off that the magics of the Accord which protect them are not working around you. True sight does not reveal their true forms, so can't be relied on for this particular purpose. A couple of personas I have seen them use are an elderly Asmar named Samatir Fazim, as well as a human named Breenlad Garrickson, and once they took the form of Rowan the Twin Blade. It's unlikely they'll be regularly using the latter two, considering there are famous figures in Cygalian history and folklore. It's my understanding that of the two, Rowan was not even a regular persona of theirs to begin with. There was a Samatir Fazim in Menacil, last I heard, though more than one can take the same form at a time and have done so before, so there being one in Menacil does not exclude one from appearing along your travels. I will say that because none of you are humans, they have no immediate reason to be antagonistic towards you that I know of, unless you are looking to reveal their existence. So if you do encounter them, they may not be opposed to talking. I have even received protection and aid from them in the past. They might not appreciate being sought out for such, though, so I'd advise against it generally unless necessary. Similar to Rowan and Breenlad, it would be foolish of them to appear as me in public, and even in private to a degree, since they know I know of them. But to be sure and safe, next time I see you in person, I will ask you how you are liking my gifts. That's how you'll know it's me. In your response, say that you are liking them very much, but wish you didn't have need of them. My best to you all, and stay safe. Awa. And there you
Whoa.
I
are.
know what to say. Can we keep
Oh, it
her?
also says,
Yeah,
make
can we
it good,
keep
make it
her?
right.
Make it good, make it right. Yeah,
Make it good, make it right.
she is too good. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't
Just,
have
yeah.
words. That is the sweetest thing ever.
Yeah.
They're so well written and just like so
They're
well thought,
beautiful.
like so thoughtful of the actual like story and things that all the characters are going through. You actually genuinely like really thought about it
So
quite a lot.
invested.
You can tell. It just seems so. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say.
It's very touching.
Very, very.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, 10th Kingdom, eh? What are we gonna do?
Nothing.
Nothing. We've got a lot on our hands.
It seems, yeah, that's probably the best option. It sounds like.
Leave it be.
That's her just arming you in case you guys were ever to encounter them, and making sure that you're safe. And they can take the appearance of Awen herself. So, in case,
Yeah.
Have a
in case
little
she's giving you
safe sentence
little
to
safe
say.
sentence, yeah.
I don't trust that anybody is themselves now. So I'm going to need to give everybody a code word. Or something.
We are going to get coined by everyone.
Again, they just they usually sit back and just watch.
Mm.
Um,
Unless you have a magical scythe that protects you from the Accord.
just don't mention that.
Yeah.
Because that's
Secret
one of the
scythe.
things that was not advertised as something that it could do. It was
As a
just-
legend, yeah.
They were just like, oh yeah, no, that's something I can do. You guys read your letters, receive your gifts.
We're all together when this is happening, right?
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're in a dark corner. Getting
You're in
some
a dark
drinks.
corner. There you have it. Anything you guys would like to do before the end of this day comes around?
Thesia is going to, after reading her letter in full, Thesia is going to politely excuse herself from the table and go to her room. And she's going to do something that I was not going to agree with. Like after reading that, it's like, oh, this will happen. Asmodeus, we need to renegotiate the contract. It's like, oh. Oops, sorry.
Okay. You go to talk to Asmodeus.
Do you want us to take our headphones out?
I've thought for a long time about whether I would want you guys to take your headphones out. I've decided that you can listen in on this.
Ooh,
Ooh.
interesting.
Ooh.
Listen, I shall.
Listen, you shall. You guys do not know what happened the last time Thesia talked to Asmodeus.
But as Thesia is kind of getting up to leave, I'll be like, Thesia, where are you going? You're not going to stick around?
What do you mean?
I was just going to raise a glass to Arwen. You're going?
I've got something I need to deal with. Personally, I've got some. Like, she's just murdered Matt Cheshire and just saw all like her brothers and sisters essentially just die. I think she's working out some personal issues.
You are one of, if not the last Yuan-Ti alive. That's something.
Welcome to the club. You've got your people on an island. And you're taking on your Time Lord.
And there are others of you on Volpakar.
Cloud doesn't know that though.
Yes, you do. It's been told to you many times.
Oh yeah. Cloud may have forgotten that. Whoopsie.
Thesia heads up to her room and goes to get in contact with Asmodeus. Pooh. You find yourself in the same space you always do, the banquet table in this undulating space of red, with this just very ordinary, sort of handsome without being overly attractive tiefling sitting in his tall-backed chair on the opposite end from you. Asmodeus greets you. Thesia, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, hello. So, here to negotiate your contract. I have to say, congratulations on slaying Matt Shasha.
Thank you.
You're very welcome indeed. Well, you're the one who did it. I tell you, if that had gotten out of control, everybody would be in trouble. So.
Yes. She's
What's
not
wrong?
thanking him.
Yeah, what's wrong? You don't seem particularly grateful for the help I gave you during that fight.
I am very grateful, but I'm living with my own grief at the moment.
One day, Thesia, you're going to have to kill that part of yourself that has grief. It's a weakness. It takes time away when you could be seeking more power.
Yes, and one day's not today, so I'll give myself a day to grieve.
Fair enough, I suppose. I keep having to remind myself how young you are.
Yes, I must be a baby compared to everyone else down here.
A veritable mayfly, Thesia. A veritable mayfly. So, what's next for Thesia?
Oh, I haven't decided on my new road, but as agreed, I'm down here to renegotiate my contract, so more power for what you would like.
Indeed. To that effect, I have drawn up a new contract.
Okay.
And it floats over to you. The contract reads, this contract is made between one Asmodeus, god of evil and ruler of the nine hells, in brackets, the patron, and Thesia, in brackets, the contractor. By signing below, the contractor foregoes their free will, turning over direct control of her actions to the patron. The patron reserves the right to amend the contract as they see fit, with new clauses and conditions added instantly upon his verbal command. Below, there is a line for you to sign.
So let's get into technicalities here
All right.
and break it down. So it's not my soul, it's my free will.
Oh, yes. As the contract stands, it's just your free will.
So you could at any point, is it a puppeteering role where it's mild possession, or do you just give me a command that I have to follow through and more like charmed effect?
The latter one. You do whatever I say.
Mm-hmm. What happens if I refuse?
He sort of sighs and he goes, well, I suppose that's the end of our working relationship, Thesia. As has been stipulated in previous contracts, all of the power that I've given you is my power and is on loan to you. So I will be taking that back, and you will go forth and no longer be a paladin.
So, sorry, I just want to make it clear for myself before I sign. So forgive the questions. So if I accept it, I sign this contract, and then you give me a command that I do not agree with and will not participate with.
You will
Can
participate.
I then review?
You will have no choice but to participate. Your body will move according to my command. If I tell you to brutally murder Theramin's parents, you will do so. If I tell you to slaughter everyone in Seal, you will find a way.
Mm-hmm. Do I have time to think about this, or is it I have to sign it now?
You have to sign. You have to decide now.
And if I decline, would I be putting myself in harm's way and my friends?
Are you asking if I would seek some sort of retribution against you, Thesia?
Well, yes.
No. No, I think our working relationship has been good thus far, and if you were to say, I'm going to call it quits here, then that would be the end of it.
Out of game,
Yes.
if I refused,
Yes.
how would that affect my stats?
You would lose your paladin levels and become a level 20 bard.
Okay. Obviously, I'll lose like Divine Smite and all that
You
shit.
would lose
But
all of that.
Hit point wise, and
your hit points and
proficiency?
proficiencies, especially like with I don't know if it's armor and stuff that you get from
It
being
is,
powdered.
yeah, like
Yeah.
martial weapons.
So those would stay. The abilities and levels and proficiency bonus of being above level 20 would go away. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have lay on hands, divine smite,
Yeah.
any of that stuff.
And because I'm currently level 22.
Yes.
So I'm not at Lily's proficiency bonus level yet. She's 25.
You're at a +7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would
You'd go
remain
to a
+7 as
+6. You would go to a
I'll go
+6. Yeah.
Okay. Literally weighing up +6 proficiency to I might have to kill my friends if he tells me to.
Yeah.
And with that removed, so I'm just thinking, I know probably this series for our characters is like almost wrapping up.
We're in the final
yeah.
stretch now. Yeah.
I couldn't take another multi-class.
No, usually level 20 is a hard cap in D&D. It's through some shenanigans that we've gone above. So this would just set you back to the level 20 mark. And again, like down the line, there might be a chance for like epic boons and stuff. But you would be hard capped at level 20 probably.
So more like Theramin like.
More like Theramin, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not signing that. We've had a good working relationship and I appreciate all the help that you have given. And maybe one day I will come back down here when my time is over in the mortal realm to see if I could be a general. But until that time, Asmodeus, it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine. He again, he looks a little, saddened that that's your choice, but of course I understand. Thesia, you turn to leave. Your body stops moving. Your body turns around and walks back to the table. Asmodeus says, "Oh, silly me. Did you forget you're under contract? Let me read to you exactly what you signed the last time you were here." You see,
yes, to renegotiate.
Emblazoned in front of you, the glowing fiery words, verbatim what I said during our last conversation. I, Thesia, hereby guarantee that I will return to the realm of Asmodeus and renegotiate and reach a new agreement for a new contract with Asmodeus after this battle is done. You may not leave until you have signed a new contract with Asmodeus.
Okay then. She sits down. She actually this time takes a seat at the other end of the table, grabs a plate of food and go, right, renegotiate was in your contract. We're renegotiating the contract.
Asmodeus smiles at you and says, that contract in front of you is the only thing you're going to get.
And that contract you showed said to renegotiate. Renegotiation is a two-way conversation. You cannot hand me something and expect me to sign it. We discuss and we compromise.
We discuss, but negotiation doesn't always lead to compromise, Thesia. As you are talking to him, you see his form begins to grow. And suddenly he's 8 feet tall, 9 feet tall. His horns are larger. His appearance more devilish than the times you've seen him before. And he has 2 pairs of eyes in his head, wearing sort of like long robes. And he smiles. And he says, Thesia, the only thing about this was that it was so easy. There you were, wanting so desperately to give that big fuck you to your people, wanting so much for your people to have taught you wrong about me. I am the god of evil, Thesia. And I've been doing this so much longer than you. A mayfly indeed. You feel your hand move and sign the agreement. And he goes, a demonstration for you. Your soul is the property of the 9 hells. And as he says the words, the contract extends and the words appear on your contract. Anything I say ends up on there. And here's the thing. You're so desperate to feel special, to feel like you mattered, that people cared about you, that you were in any way different from your brethren. Thesia. Tut tut. You're not different from your people. You're just the last one left standing. You're the one who agreed to that deal I made you to kill everyone on the battlefield. And Peter will be taking the blame for that for a long time to come, like we agreed. Oh, you are not better than your people, and your relationship with your friends does not in any way make you morally better than me. When I first talked to you about negotiating a contract with me, what I said was, down here, it's a meritocracy. You need to be more powerful, more cunning, and clever than everyone else around you. Thesia, you're just not clever enough to make it down here.
Oh,
And
Thesia just bursts out laughing. Like, she just cuts him off now. She just absolutely, like, not even like you know, like like mocking. She is full belly laughing, like she is having a good time, and just staring at him, and he's like full like absolute devil form, and she's just like, really? I can live with the decisions I've made with you. That will be on my conscience. I killed those peoples, and I set up, well, we set up Peter to take the blame. You have no idea what I am capable of. So if you really, really try and make this difficult and make me hurt the people I care about, good luck resurrecting my dead body, because I'll kill myself before you can get the chance. And she just gets up and walks away.
Stay, we have more to talk about. And you find your seat again. First of all, if you kill yourself, you'll end up here now. So that's not an escape. Second of all, you may not kill yourself. It's in your contract now. Thirdly, I'm not going to make you hurt your friends. Don't be so crude. That's no gain in that for me. No, I have an actual reason that I've gone through all the trouble of talking to you and making you my slave.
Yes, with Breniel, probably. So just cut to the point.
There you are, Breniel Amakir. Let's talk about that. You guys have been wandering around being so worried about that little upstart oracle. It's kind of funny, actually. You should have been worrying about me. Breniel Amakir has been trying his little darndest to be a thorn in my side. He actually thinks that by maneuvering people around, he can bring an end to me and the 9 hells of Saigalia. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You were but part of a grander scheme of his. You've taken out Balzabul, and he's got other people running around down here who are taking out others of my generals. Did you know that? Of course you didn't. You didn't bother to look it up.
Okay.
So here's what's going to happen. You are going to be my silver bullet against Breniel Amakir. Because he's been hiding himself from me, and that's just annoying. No, I know you have an appointment with him, and I know you're going to keep it. You and your friends are going to kill Breniel Amakir for me. Stop whatever it is he's doing. Because nobody fucks with me. I have killed gods, Thesia. I alone amongst the Saigalians have discovered the secret to do so. And I saw that you were making good friends with Wen. How is she doing these days, anyhow?
Nope. Silent treatment. Nope.
Well. It was so interesting what happened with her. I destroyed her home, killed a lot of the people that she knew and loved. And then later on, she did me a huge favor and killed Lolth. I don't really know what to do with her. On the one hand, she helped by destroying one of my greatest rivals. On the other hand, she's called Godslayer now. And that was something I wanted for myself. So I'm still undecided about what I'm going to do about her. Who knows? Maybe if she gets involved again, I'll kill her. Anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to say nothing about this contract, about our interactions, or in any way give any signal to your friends that anything is amiss or that you want your contract to be terminated. In fact, you may do anything you like to disabuse Cloud of using that scythe of hers to terminate your contract. If you have to plane shift out of there in order to avoid that, do it.
I can't.
All of this is in your contract now. You must do everything in your power to avoid your contract being severed. And you may not communicate in any way to your friends that this is a thing. Furthermore, you may not allow your mind to be read, your memories to be looked at, or display any emotional sign that anything is wrong.
Just about this contract, or in general about the conversation?
This contract, this conversation, the true nature of me and our relationship, all of that stuff.
Oh, okay. So if someone went to read my mind or look through my memories for this specific moment in time, it'd just be kind of blank.
You just don't let them read your mind, if at all possible. And if it is possible, if it is possible for them to read your mind, then yeah, keep them out of this area of your mind.
Okay. And how, after insulting me and, you know, saying that nothing matters, I'm not really anything, I'm just a basic UNT, not special. So how, in fact, do you think I'll kill or use me to kill?
Oh, don't get me wrong. You have an incredible amount of power that Breniel has arranged for you to have. You're just, how do I say this? You're a blunt instrument in the toolkits of people more important than yourself. And you're going to be very useful to me, Thesia. Don't get that wrong. I don't mean to insult your usefulness. I would never do something like that.
Well, you did, so.
Yes, I did. So, You three go meet with Brenniel wherever he is. And something appears in his hand, a large red gleaming scale. He tosses it over to you. Pick that up, keep it on your person. What you're going to do is you're going to find him. I assume he'll have a domain up, because how else will he be keeping me from knowing what's going on with him? Speaking of which, did you know that in my domain, he does not have any sight? He came to me and talked to me and basically declared war on me ages ago now, years ago. But I am immune to his divine sight. I am immune to the oracle and his predictions. So he won't know this conversation happened, and you will give him no reason to know. You'll not be expecting it, and you'll bring this. This will create a domain within his and break his, and allow for my power to supersede his, ruin his shit, and aid you in killing the bastard for good. That done, I'm sure I'll give you a holiday before sending you off to do more things for me.
Thanks.
Oh, no worries. There are benefit packages to being a slave to the god of evil, after all.
Prefer the word paladin.
I'm sure you do. I suppose I could use that word.
You will.
Oh, Thesia, Thesia, Thesia. I do like you, you know. That part hasn't changed. That part hasn't changed. All right, I think that's all for now. Don't think I've forgotten anything. No? All right. Well, goodbye for now, slave. Give you a little wink, and you are back in your room. You can go ahead and gain another level of paladin.
And I've taken my oath. We both know what oath that is.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. I can be evil as well.
This moment, first of all, just Daisy, I am so sorry that that is the thing. Just like personally, I wanted to just make sure you're okay.
Fine.
That was fucked up.
Yeah, a little bit. I was like, oh, can you sliver? And then you were like, you cannot talk to your friends about what happened. I was like, fuck.
So, yes, Lily, Callum, I thought narratively it was important for you to know what was going on. But of course, your characters have no idea that this is happened.
It's going to be really difficult, though, not to try and be like, oh, how can we get Thesia out of this shitstorm?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, because that was really good, fun to listen to, as well as
Yeah.
just, like, devastating.
Yeah, now you know Thesia caused the death wave. Oh, if Cloud knew that in character, she'd be pissed.
Owen might have included
Thesia for not choosing to sign it. You know, like having to be forced to do it. It's like a progression of her character. It's nice to hear her say that. So well done.
100%. It was nice you didn't have my
Yeah.
feelings, Josh. Thank you. I was like, no, Thesia's just killed about Cheshire. No, she's not fucking putting up with this shit.
I
Might be the king of hell. He does not scare her.
He should.
Oh,
Narratively,
Asmodeus doesn't know he's going to get used so bad. It's in my head, like as a player, I have things in mind where it's this Asmodeus Thesia contract is two ways. It's like, okay, fine. And now it's more apparent, it's like, fine, you made me do this. but in the end, he's getting used for something else. So it's just like, see, mate, listening to that, I was like, right, if it comes to worse, if he's going to make us a target, like me, Theramin, parents, and Dylan, I was
My
like,
family,
right,
yeah.
that's 5 people. Plane shift. I can just plane shift us out of there. And it'll be okay. I can wait. The charges will read. And then it was like, oh no, you can't speak about it. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he kept adding in those clauses that just made every idea that you have just go, oh no, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh no, we can't do that.
And it doesn't matter where he is. If he thinks of something, he can just say
Yeah.
it and it will be applied.
Well done, Josh, as well. That was such a cool.
Yeah, that was
Like,
amazing.
that was a good
Thank
twist.
you.
I really enjoyed that.
Thank
Although
you.
I hated it, but I really enjoyed it.
Arwen for a way to get back to her home because it's protected, but I didn't think this would happen.
Anyway,
See, the thing is, if Cloud knew that and knew about the new contract, she would work with Breniel to kill the bitch, but she doesn't.
But we know that Thesia has a relationship with Asmodeus, don't we? Because he was there and he was talking about it when I killed my dad.
Relationship.
yeah.
Well, something's
But
going
the
on
thing
there.
is,
You know?
if you still
No,
had
Asmodeus
the
is now
helm
my
of
boyfriend.
telepathy, if you still had the helm of telepathy and it came up with like a blank spot in her memory,
Maybe suspicious.
instant would be Thesia has been very open with who she's been talking to, what the contracts are. If it suddenly went blank,
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I just ask what Asmodeus's relationship with the 10th hell is like? The 10th
Kingdom.
the 10th kingdom.
10th kingdom
Yeah.
is like. Is he aware? Like, what's his? Are they friends or what?
He's not given any indication that he even knows that they exist. He's also sort of like semi-bound by the Accord. If he knows that they exist, they don't interact with each other at all.
Can I ask?
Different, separate entities entirely. Yes.
Okay.
You were just talking about the Accord, and Slither protects us from that.
To
Would
a
there be
certain degree?
to a certain degree? I'm wondering whether there's a way that Slither can work around the wording. Maybe it's something we should talk.
So
about.
basically what the Accord is, it's like a big contract that's like magic that is over top of the world of Cygalia. And what the Accord is it's this big magic with these tenets, which the natural state of the world of Cygalia is complete chaos. Anything that people dream, believe, fear, or excited about manifests as reality around them, right? Which is how all the gods came into existence, which is how like angels and devils and fey creatures and all this stuff came into existence. What the Accord says is like, okay, everything just stop and stay where you are over here. And here's some other clauses as well. So it funnels all of that magic outward to the heavens and the hells. So it's kind of like solidifies everything. So Asmodeus is Asmodeus and doesn't change, and the devils are the devils, and souls can go there. It makes the system of the world happen, basically.
So you said about like the fears. So I know that Thesia, her bard thing is to tap into people's fears. Is there a
Tap into
way
the Accord
that Slither could tap into her fears that are about maybe what she just spoke about?
The first thing I will say is that Thesia's power is more interesting than tapping into the Accord. Thesia's power is tapping into the raw stuff that the world produces before it gets filtered by the Accord. There's potential in that for something, and we've sent a couple messages back and forth about. I've said you don't know what will happen if you ever were to go further into that, but that's a possibility.
Yeah.
The scythe, on the other hand, is not going to, it doesn't have a huge number of extra senses. It just has a bunch of like magical abilities. The scythe is not going to be able to pick up.
No, I meant like because it's got like a telepathy element to it. I was wondering whether it could.
It can communicate, but can't read people's thoughts without their permission.
Right, but wouldn't.
And I can't give him permission.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think of ways around this. I'm like,
I know.
right, the sliver is not attached to the Accord. Asmodeus kind of is. Would there be a loophole? And I'm like, oh, it's so difficult. But no, I was just thinking, they're not attached to the Accord. He kind of is. How do I work this?
We're not even allowed to like think about it like that, because like our characters have to like think
work it out.
Find out. You know, it's like we can't plan any of that because
no, just
you
in
can
my head,
plan
like,
it, but
in my head, I was like, how?
Yeah.
But it's just it's a weird one. Yeah.
Brilliant. It's absolutely amazing. Bit frustrating for like player Lily, just like
absolutely.
How do I do this?
Yeah. If I was in your shoes, I would be frustrated to hell by that.
I want to protect my friends.
I want to protect your friends.
Is there any other devils that we can make deals with?
Have you not learned your lesson?
I was about to say, let's not make the same mistakes.
No, we'll just go to
Beelzebul
other ends and get a
pulled
celestial
the same
involved.
shit but worse, and then Asmodeus does the more refined version. And you're looking to make more deals with more devils.
I'm gonna call Jesus, see what he has to say.
Well, that's the other thing, is that Thesia, like
Celestials,
like, and it makes complete sense. It makes total sense that you did it, and I love the decision to do it. It's made for an awesome story. But you did go to the devil and not to, you know, Pelor, the god of light.
Theramin's dead. You could have just done it with Theramin's dead.
It was go hard or go home at that point. It was like, who would Thesia know as the rival, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I speak to the manager?
Basically,
Karen moment.
Thesia's gone, F to my god, who's the rival god? Right, Asmodeus, right, let's go speak to the manager.
Can I, there's a type of tiefling that is like a celestial, what you get like wings.
An Azamar.
That's it, an Azamar. How do you become an Azamar?
You have to have celestial heritage, or like been blessed by a celestial in some way. Yeah, so one of your parents is an archdevil, you'll become a tiefling. If like one of your ancestors had a kid with an angel, or was blessed by an angel in some way, their kids might be Azamars, or Azamars might have children who are Azamars, etc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've never before considered having somebody play a tiefling Azamar. I think that would be kind of cool, honestly.
Like an archdevil and a celestial.
Yeah, archdevil and a solar had a kid. No, that wouldn't be a mortal. It would have to be like a lower devil and a lower angel. Cool beans. That scene happened. That was most of my prep work for this session.
I mean, if you want to finish earlier, that's fine.
No. We have a little more. I'm gonna say that the night passes. You get a good old full rest, long sleep. And what I will say, even Thesia, which is kind of scary to you, is you wake up, and you do not feel worry or anxiety about the deal you just made. And then you remember that it's in your contract that you cannot emotionally display any hint that anything's wrong. So your
internally,
head is
can I
level.
be screaming?
Absolutely, but you don't feel the how you would feel if you were anxious about it or anything like that.
I think she because she wakes up feeling displaying to be okay about it. I think she just kind of laughs, giggles, chuckles a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she says kind of under her breath, because she probably knows Asmodeus is, he's just waiting for his time. He can hear her. She just actually says thanks. Because he's taken the stress away.
Yeah.
In a really twisted way. It's he's helped her. She's not okay about it, and it doesn't internally sit well with her.
Yeah.
But he's helped her not feel for it.
Yeah.
And it's just oh, thanks.
Can I ask?
Of course.
The other times that Thesia made deals with Asmodeus, was she visibly upset or stressed, or we would have got an impression of her being not quite herself?
Not really, because
It
the
went
other
quite
times,
well, didn't it?
Yeah.
because all the other times it went well, and all you guys know is that she got a bit more powerful, which is literally the same situation. You spoke to him, she might display power that she hasn't yet before, and the oath she has chosen is Oathbreaker, which I believe is that Rhydon's oath as well.
No, he was Oath of the Crown.
Oh, Oath of the Crown. Oh, why did I think it was Oathbreaker? Never mind. But Oathbreaker, in world context, is a slightly more villainous way to go about being a paladin. So she might exude unconsciously some sort of make people a bit wary of her, have this aura. But I know later on, which Thesia may not ever get to, but later on, you literally everything is scared of you.
Yeah.
Because you just exude so much evil that it's not even a joke. But yeah, so she might wake up, she might look a bit, this time she might look tired, but general life at the moment. She may have the aura of don't speak to me. Right now, but there's nothing unsettling about her that would make anyone worry.
Yeah. Well, no, the thing is, if you're giving more off of a evil aura, gain
slightly
extra level. Slightly. Cloud being in tune with nature and everything that's good and everything that's natural, I don't know whether she'd pick up on the change.
Well, here's the other thing, is that it's very much in line with your abilities which already exist. Your bard stuff kind of taps into fears. Your Yuan-Ti, which doesn't put people at ease anyway, and the vibe is still Asmodeus's 9 Hells vibe, right? It's to be expected that would grow.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Cloud would probably just think, oh, it's just the stress of battle, the stress of everything that's happened. She's just feeling a bit on edge. I don't think Cloud would pick up on anything too untoward.
Come back smelling a little bit more like the 9 Hells.
Yeah, just
some really weird aftershave, your perfume, oh no.
Oh, now I'm just thinking about a sulfurous aftershave. Ugh.
I don't
I just
know.
think
Why
I have
Asmodeus
no
was
perception of
nice?
anything like that. I'm a bit of an idiot, so.
It's beautiful where you
would
are.
recognize
this is
it.
lovely.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Excuse you.
Oh my god.
Can I just say that Theramin definitely woke up to having an orgy last night?
Oh yeah,
100%.
100%.
I don't think he remembers it, but he awaked to it and he's like, ugh.
Just a couple of
climb over
bangs on the
people to get
wall from
out.
Cloud, shut up. No one cares.
I will say, yeah, maybe you guys waking up a little more tired of the night, because an unholy racket from that room the previous night. Not unpleasant bracket, just loud.
Just loud.
Not what Thesia wants to hear after speech.
Yeah, not what Cloud wants to
So
hear either.
just like
Go to,
comes back from that tranquil state that she goes into. It's like, what is that noise?
I
I
think
don't
there's a
need this right
guy
now.
like playing like a sitar or something in the corner of the room the whole time as well, just like the resident like Audrey's guitar player, just to set the vibe.
Absolutely.
Can
Absolutely.
I
I mean,
check on
there are
Ash?
even some people from Merle Stone. I think maybe a couple of your partners from
Yeah.
then are probably in on it as well.
Probably. Just be like, you're so much more handsome than I last saw you.
I know.
Guys, today you all wake up. The vibe is a lot more upbeat. People are back in their homes. People are safe. People want to go and see a concert is what they want. They want to properly celebrate the Mockeries, these heroes who have saved the city of Sessenseal.
Do
And
we still have the one scheduled in the gardens?
today's the day you have something scheduled in the gardens.
Ooh.
But what I will say is we will very quickly run a little scene. You're in public, there are people all around talking about this thing you're going to do. And Miss Prosperine, looking like a tiefling again, shows up.
Don't, Lily.
I'm so tempted, but I'm not going to.
Like Thesia actually just, I don't know. You dare.
Can I get everybody to roll insight checks on
Yes, you
Miss
can.
Prosperine?
Oh,
If you would
roll
be
the
so-
dice.
Can
Thesia,
someone roll mine for me? Because
Sure.
I'm away from. Sorry, I'm away from my die.
That's okay.
Oh,
I'll roll
I
for you.
dropped it.
Thesia, you can roll
Thank
with
you.
advantage.
I dropped my dice. Good to go.
You, Mr. Theramin, I believe you have. No, what do you know what your bonus is to insight?
It's wisdom.
It's wisdom, so it's going to be probably your negative, I feel like. You rolled a base 15, so that's what I'll give you.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I don't expect you to memorize your entire player sheet. Are you kidding?
I got 22.
22 is very good.
18
Got
plus
a
4.
19.
19. Awesome. It's gonna be one of those weird situations where 19 is gonna give you more just because you have more context for what's going on. I will say on a 15, Theramin, Miss Prosperine looks a little bit more. She looks a little bit more sort of reserved, and almost just sort of like short with all of you than you remember. Cloud, this woman is furious and is holding back her fury. Thesia, she stares daggers at you.
Yeah, I can kind of understand why she's pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter's back then. Fun.
She will come over. Mockeries. On behalf of everyone in the city and on behalf of the Outer Plains Bank, thank you so much for the work that you did yesterday, or the day before last, in defeating Matt Shesha. Truly, it could not have been done without you.
You're welcome.
And she looks at Thesia when she says that.
You're very welcome.
Can I make a perception check to see whether I noticed the look?
I'll say you noticed the look. Thesia's the
I
one who
noticed
killed
it.
Matt Shesha.
Okay, all right.
Among other things.
But
Which-
the subtext is lost on you in this moment.
Yeah. Can I just say to her, I was like, Thesia may have dealt the killing blow, but we could not have done it without you. and Peter, which unfortunately I have to admit. I just want it to come across like I have no idea what happened and I am sincerely thanking them.
Yeah. She'll look at you.
I hope he comes back soon.
Officially, Peter Engelhardt is dead and a hero who died on the battlefield. That's the way he's going to be remembered. The general made her report to the prince.
Is he okay?
The prince is fine. He's recuperating. He wanted to be here for this, but in light of certain things and in light of his injuries, he has opted to look after himself instead. I'm just trying to think if there's a way to what I will say is, Thesia, the subtext that she's giving you here is that the general, Ciara Alanes, was there when the death thing happened, when the death wave happened. The general knows that it didn't come from Peter and it came from you instead, and reported that to Rhydon. So Rhydon knows. But for the other two, that's neither here nor there. As per our agreement, you all have a gig to play, and I think it will be good for the people of this city to see their heroes up on stage.
I appreciate that. I think we all do.
What I would like for you to know, and this will be in private, what I would like for you all to know is how sorry I am that things deteriorated so quickly between us. Our founder and head of our family has a deal with Asmodeus, as you all may know. This deal does not devote him to the Nine Hells, but it does devote the Cabal toward gathering resources to help the cult of Asmodeus and help the followers of Asmodeus, and forces us into non-aggression with warlocks of the Archdevils of the Nine Hells. Originally, the reason we wanted the Scythe was so that we could break that contract and stop funding Asmodeus. But now I think it's best that we go our separate ways. We'll figure out an alternate solution.
Is there a specific reason? Sorry, Dave.
No, you go first.
A specific reason why this contract that you were so eager to uphold is dissolved?
Let's just say that I and everyone else in my family would rather put all further dealings with your group aside and leave one another in peace. You'll do this gig and you will see no more of us. We will antagonize you no further and hope that you will choose not to do the same.
Okay, cool. Excuse me.
So they're under. Sorry. So the Legazis, the Cabal, are under contract to help Asmodeus.
To help the cult of Asmodeus. So the deal with that Caspian Legazi made with Asmodeus was Asmodeus helped him to acquire / create a magical artifact, which led to him becoming immortal and being able to give immortality to others. And in recompense, Caspian Legazi agreed to devote himself and his family and his resources to funding the cult of Asmodeus, to funding the activities of the worshippers of Asmodeus in the sort of like criminal underground of Gorindia.
Can I turn to her, Amelia, and say, it's a shame. I thought we might need your help with someone called Brenny or Amakir.
I was the one who told you about Brenny Amakir, if you remember.
We already knew of him beforehand. It's a shame to lose powerful allies.
Yeah.
But I understand your fearfulness of him. He is a adversary I wouldn't wish my worst enemy go up against.
No. I think if you don't fear him, you're wrong not to. And if you're going up against him, then may the gods be with you.
We're the Mockeries. We don't need gods or devils.
Sure. And she'll leave.
Yeah, we would never make contracts with devils. You never catch us doing that.
Sure. As she's leaving, she will message Thesia. And just go. I've thought a lot of things about your group, but I never thought that you were that evil.
Don't bring us into it. Fuck.
She doesn't
Can I
know.
message her back?
Yeah, you can reply to the message.
Okay. Evil. Surely you should look in the mirror before judging others.
I know what I am. I just didn't think you were worse. And she'll leave.
Oh, hun, I can show you worse. Just, I do have a question.
Yes.
So if they're contracted to help like the cult and the underground work,
Yeah.
and technically I am a paladin / slave / follower / servant, are they actually contracted to help me as well if I fall under that group as well, or no?
They are like Theramin when he was a warlock of the things. They are Caspian's contract, which he relates as orders to his followers, are non-interference with people such as yourself. So they have been ordered not to do anything to interrupt your activities, basically.
Okay.
While you're working for Asmodeus. In terms of like supplying funds and things, you're getting a cut of this thing from the gig, like from the Pleasure Gardens thing, and that will be them giving money basically to you guys.
I was just wondering if the Legazis could, because if they're not to interfere now with me, obviously, and Theramin, because they're not aware that the tie's been cut off with Theramin. I was just wondering if they would help facilitate things, or no.
They could help facilitate things. They don't want to. Yes.
Maybe don't get a choice.
Can I just Was it the modifier for that, the perception roll? Was it wisdom?
For insight.
Insight.
Yeah.
Was it?
It is wisdom.
Mine's +7.
You have a +7?
Yeah.
Oh, she was angry. She was angry during that conversation. She was upset.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So I know that now. Sorry, I just
yeah.
thought that might help. That'd be useful to know.
You can draw what insights from that you want. Maybe she's upset that you guys allowed all those people to die.
Yeah, but she's not aware that they don't know.
She doesn't know that you don't know, and you don't know what she knows.
Yeah.
I
I think I'm just going to be like, she seems a bit salty. I hope we still get paid for this.
Can everybody, but again, Thesia with advantage because of a conversation you just had, roll a religion check for me, please.
Oh no.
Ooh, religion.
Religion.
Ooh, I got a 20. God.
You got a nat 20. 2 nat 20s?
But I got -1 on like my religion is -1, so 19.
No. Nat 20 is an automatic success. Nat 20 is an automatic success. 2 nat 20s. What did you get?
Are back.
Got 24.
24. Whoa!
Mine's not natural though. I rolled 19. I get a +5 from Jack of all trades.
That's fine. That's fine. All of you, as part of this conversation with Prosperine, realize something. The cult of Asmodeus, the people who worship him and send power and money to him, like the way that Cygalia works is what people's beliefs are manifest in the heavens and hells. The cult of Asmodeus is being funded almost wholesale by Caspian Legazi. If Caspian were to stop funding and protecting those people, the cultists of Asmodeus would have no protection and no funds, and the people whose belief and worship and sacrifice and wealth become Asmodeus's strength in the 9 hells would be vulnerable.
So
it's reminds me of Wrath of the Titans or whatever the film was,
You
where it's
cannot
like,
kill an idea, but if Cloud9 that if I severed the contract between Caspian and Asmodeus, would that affect what you just said? Would it?
If you severed that contract, Caspian would have the option of dismantling the cult of Asmodeus overnight. Basically, like outing them, the government, the Prince Riadon, the Queen, they would be able to rout, capture, and try every cultist of Asmodeus in the entire country of Garandia all at once.
Can I turn to Amelia and say
before she leaves? Yeah, for sure.
Before she leaves.
Or you can rush out. You can rush out and find her. She's in the street.
Okay, I kind of want to be away from the other two anyway.
Okay.
So I'll rush to her and say, if we were to sever Caspian's contract with Asmodeus, is there a chance that he would then turn against Asmodeus? Would he turn against the person that has given him this power? Is there a way we can stop this?
Why would you? Are you? Roll an insight, and she's going to roll an insight into what you mean here, because she could interpret this a different way.
Insight. Eh?
Oh no.
Oh, that's 22.
She got a nat 1 on her insight. You come rushing up to her and ask her this question. You see her misinterpret what you're saying as you trying to get information about a potential threat to Asmodeus. And like she thinks you're asking.
No. Can I see like the fear on her face?
You can see the guardedness. You can see her misinterpret what you're saying for sure.
It's not a threat. It's not anything like that. Please understand. It's not a threat. It is me trying to help. Please, I know what it's like to lose everything. Absolutely everything. Family, friends. I am not making a threat.
What the hell are you making then?
Look. Can I just like recite and just like everything you just said?
Yes.
About Asmodeus.
Yeah.
And just be like, it's an opportunity. This might be our only chance.
But what he like the Hells did to my family, and that you can't be trusted. You know, they're horrible.
Okay, yeah. I'll use Theramin instead. Okay, so look,
we
know what happened with Theramin's family. We know that the Hells can bend and manipulate people. Please, it's not a threat. I just want to help.
With great sight comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use that, John.
Let me get this straight. You're offering to sever Caspian's contract of your own volition?
I need a day. They don't have the charges yet. So if you can get word to Caspian, if this is not something he wants anymore and something he wants to change, I can help. We can turn the tide.
In theory, if we were to do this, your friend Theramin and Thesia would lose a good deal of their power. And you're about to go into combat with Breniel Amakir.
Maybe that's something we could work out. Maybe I save the charges for when he is gone.
Tell you what, I don't like the idea of an omniscient oracle knowing everything that happens any more than you do.
No, I don't either. And they have my tribe.
And they have your tribe.
I don't like that. I am not unaware that we need help.
As much trouble as I will get in for saying this, I rank Breniel as much greater of a threat than a lot of my family do. Use Asmodeus' power. Go kill Breniel Amakir. Come back alive, and I will absolutely take you up on that offer.
As long as I have confirmation from the boss, Caspian, that is something he wants, I am more than willing to do it. No one should be bound by servitude.
Caspian has worked for 674 years in the employ of Asmodeus, which he considers to be an adequate repayal of the services Asmodeus tendered to him. Immortality and mastery over necromancy. Caspian's ready to be done with Asmodeus. It would be no small thing for us to be able to route that part of the underground. That would go a long way.
I do want you to understand, though. I don't know whether your immortality would go.
No, it won't be affected. Our immortality is a separate magic system to what the Nine Hells is doing.
Then I'm more than happy to.
All right.
But we might need your services again, if that's okay.
Me and mine. Do you want us to come with you to fight Breniel? Or do you want us to just set you up with a ship? What do you need?
From what Arwen said, he is powerful. I know that as a band and as people, we are powerful too. But what Peter did on that battlefield, and I don't understand that kind of power, but anything you and your family can do would be a great help. And that's coming from me, which is a big deal.
I appreciate that it's a big deal. What Peter did on the battlefield was allow his body to be crushed time and time again to aid you to get a shot at that Cheshire.
But he killed so many people so that we would have a chance. I don't understand how he managed to do that with a sword, but that's the kind of power we need.
Peter will reconstitute in a couple of days. There are a couple of other agents who can assist in this endeavor. I have business to attend to here.
Mm-hmm.
Marta, Lucas, and Julia can join you to help you fight Breniel Amikir.
I'd be very grateful. We might have some allies on our side that can also help. I don't want you putting your family at risk, but then again, actually, you're immortal. So actually, the more
it's
help
barely
from you,
a risk for us. Although if anybody could destroy us, it would be Breniel. Doesn't matter. We know the risks.
make Caspian aware of. I will help him if he helps us. With no strings attached. I am not Asmodeus and have small print. It's you help us defeat Breniel. I'll sever your contract. No questions asked.
And do your friends feel the same way about you depleting their powers? All I'm saying, Cloud, is if I make this deal, I'd like to make it with you. Like for you to uphold this even if your friends disagree with your choice.
I honestly think we have been working towards the same goal. We have found out that Breniel brought us together, gave us special items for his own needs. None of us want to be played. None of us.
In the interest of nobody being played. Take that deal.
We need a gig to do, so if you've got things to do, then go ahead. We're gonna play some music.
Yes, I will help get things ready for that. Good luck, Mockeries. She will leave.
Whoa, Cloud, she was pissed and then you shook her hand. Does that mean we're getting paid extra? What's happened? What did you say?
So the gist of it is, they're going to help us kill Breniel or stop him. I'm going to sever Caspian's contract with Asmodeus, which means it turns the tide for that kind of war.
I feel very responsible for a lot of lives. I didn't think of this,
What?
but we can count on them to help us with Brennial.
Well, well done. What the hell? That's amazing.
And also, we have a gig in the gardens.
Hooray!
Dylan goes, yeah!
Probably make our way there soon.
You guys make your way over to the pleasure gardens in the luxury quarter of Cess and Seal. Just this vast expanse of like beautiful, beautifully cultivated gardens, long stretches of grass, trees growing intermittently, flowers in fields. You guys see that like beautiful walkways with overarching structures with vines and rose gardens, and all of these things have been set up. And then there's just very, very, very large field, and what has been constructed on one end is like the most enormous sort of like rock stage ever. I'm trying to think. Is it the Gloucester? No, it's not Gloucester Festival. What's the? There's a big music festival where like really
Reading.
big.
Glastonbury.
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 Stage, is it?
Yeah, it's like the Glastonbury stage. Has been set up on one end, ready and waiting for you. And you can see like people have already started to arrive. This is like a big event. People are ready to sort of like have a party. People are picnicking and walking around. Couples taking some time to themselves. Whole families have arrived. There are market stalls and stands that have been set up all around. And there are various bands, the Halfling Hooting Hoofers, etc., who who are playing just sort of like during the day as like warm up, just as like light entertainment before you guys show up. The instant you are all on stage, applause roars into existence. You are introduced by Dylan, who takes up like an announcer role with a little arcane microphone, as the heroes of the city.
Can I give Dylan spider climb so he can like climb up on the stage and like do all
I also want to
weird-
give him guidance as well, just in case.
I'm gonna roll just a straight charisma with guidance.
Also, I want Ash to be the horse that's like bringing carts of people in.
Absolutely. It's kind of funny because it's like vroom cart, vroom, vroom cart,
Yeah.
vroom, vroom.
Just like the quickest entry ever.
People happily vomit over the side of their cart.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Wow, that was awesome. So cool. Dylan rolled a 17 and a 4 for a 21 charisma
Yes,
check.
Dylan.
Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic intro that he gives you. And you can say he gives a little wink over to the bartender of the Underdark Echo from earlier.
Oh, Duna.
Who's in the audience. As part of his little intro for you. And then he walks up, like this is sort of like there's an over there's like an overhead and a couple of like walls on either side, and he kind of like walks up the side of the walls and like announces you standing upside down from the ceiling of this thing with his spider climb. Absolutely.
Can
Let's
I cast Glibness?
yeah.
I'll take the hit points, but I want to cast
You class what, sorry?
Glibness. Am I saying that right?
You take 64 points of damage.
Done.
And cast the 8th level spell Glibness. No charisma roll you make can be below a 15. For what is it, an hour?
An hour. No charisma check can be below a 33 for an hour. And if people put me in like zone or truth, they cannot tell magically if I'm ever telling the truth for this hour.
That's so cool. That being done, Is there anything you would like to say to the people of Seal before you start playing?
This is for all of the lost,
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah.
basically, and we honor them by celebrating their lives and what they fought for.
People cheer. So many people just scream, "We love you, Theramin!" Take off their
Give an alt
shirts.
elbow.
Theramin.
Stop.
I've just got like pants on my horns from just like landing.
People throwing their hands at you. That said, everybody roll performance with advantage for your gig at Seal.
2 natural
14.
20s. I'm
Oh.
not even lying.
No way! What the hell?
Charisma is +2, so that's a 22 from
What
Cloud.
the hell?
Wait, what am I adding? Charisma
Nah.
or 14
Performance.
plus 14 plus.
Did you roll with advantage? Did you take the higher of 2 d20 rolls?
Oh no. Oh, 18. That's better.
There you go.
I'm still like the worst out of the group. Still.
But no, that's incredible. Wow.
It's the Mockeries though.
It's the
Come on.
Mockeries. I can't, like, you guys
So,
are
31.
31.
And I got 37.
37 from you.
22.
20,
Oh, hell yeah.
22 total, but like 2 nat 20s in a row needs to be rewarded. Ordinarily, you guys would be at a good old even 68, 70. You'd be at an even 90. I'm going to say that the 2 nat 20s in a row just bumps you up to an even 100 score for this performance roll in Seal. The
Love
best
it.
gig you have played so far, and that's saying something. You rock out. Everybody has an incredible time, and this celebration brings to a head. You're like you see the people of Asterfeld are here, and they are getting their money's worth for the things. When this performance is concluded late into the night, yes, Mr. Theramin.
I just wanted to say that I wanted to use, as we're performing,
Yes,
like once
please.
we start playing, I want to cast hallucinatory terrain so that we get like the stage kind of disappears and we get raised up on these like big rocks on like different levels, and then we just kind of rock out, and there's like all sorts of clouds for Cloud, and like flames for me, and Thesia, what do you want?
No,
I
just
feel like
snakes.
snakes would scare people. Under the current circumstances, no snakes.
Maybe you could like ride a wave or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I'll
come
have
on an
stars or
ash.
celestial.
You come on an ash.
You guys are each on your own spire of rock, wreathed in cloud, like looking as though it pokes above the clouds, wreathed in flames, and with waves crashing behind for dramatic effect. Light shines down from the heavens, and all the stars and the moons and the planets shine their light upon your stage. The most spectacular image any of these people have ever seen. After the show is done, you guys give that meet and greet to the people of Asterfeld. They get their money's worth. And
finally.
in fact, many more people pay for the privilege as well. You complete this gig with a truly extraordinary amount of money. Each of you is going to gain 20,000 gold pieces because you got a percentage of the amount that people paid to get in as well.
Yeah.
20,000?
This is
Wow.
the event, and half the country is here to see it.
Okay. I never
That's
thought
a
I'd just
lot
be
of
adding a
money.
2-0 to the beginning of the amount of money I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either. I was like, I'm running
What?
low.
This will net you like the cash prize of the Battle of Bands is much more than this, but this is the most money you would ever expect to earn from like playing music anywhere in the world.
So is that between us then? 20,000 between 3 of us?
No, each.
Each.
Each? Freaking hell yeah.
Yeah.
So shopping tomorrow.
Yeah.
Shopping tomorrow.
Shopping.
When the meet and greet is done and the night is turning into early morning, you make your way back to the Independent and find one last letter waiting for you, newly arrived, signed by Alwen.
What?
Oh yeah.
The letter reads, "To the Mockeries. I've looked into a few things I said I would follow up on last we spoke. I regret it cannot be more. There is more going on than even you know, and I'm finding myself much busier these past few months than I have needed to be in some time. Considering the artifacts that our mutual friend is looking for, I've been following up on the suspicion that they were all in some way connected to the Numina and Hamir. The scythe and the mask, of course, seem likely connections given the descriptions and imagery associated with the celestial host, but the latter two also evoke themes and images which relate to them as well. Regarding the third artifact, the Numina and Hamir were a force which would descend upon entire planets at nightfall, bringing with them always chaos and changing the faces of worlds. Equally a force of chaos and balance against stagnant order. As for the fourth, while the phrasing is peculiar, it did remind me of a particular piece of information I received in recent months, which was that some tales of origin of the Numina and Hamir say that the trees were involved in their creation myth. Consider, Cygalia was the home for the Numina and Hamir long before any of us arrived here, and the unique magics of Cygalia are those of chaos and the impression ideas and thoughts make on said chaos. Long before the newer races arrived here and made their impressions on Cygalia, there were the elder races, one of them being, of course, the trees. If we are to believe that the Numina and Hamir were created from the impression of the collective unconscious of the races on the planet at the time, it stands to reason the trees would have been a part of that. Unfortunately, what this means in terms of their private fears specifically, I do not quite know. The most obvious fears, of course, do not seem particularly private, and the most private are, of course, precisely that. This has meant my usual sources on the matter have been understandably rather less than forthcoming than usual in this particular matter. So I am having to come at things from a roundabout way. Regardless, after some more discussions, some interesting elements have arisen. One, more details on the Numina and Hamir creation myth came out, and the full names as you have given me of the artifacts reference precisely the items/elements that the Numina and Hamir were said to be made of or from to begin with. Furthermore, I have received the following information on each of those elements themselves. The mask of tortured stone is called Earlbrisig as its name. The whimsy of nightfall is a spell, and the fear is harder to describe. The word I got was location with a question mark. The method by which I received this information meant that unfortunately specifics were not easy to get at the time, but I have my suspicions based on the above, as well as some more information on Erbrisig itself. I also wonder how much or many of these artifacts are true copies or recreations of existing things or stand as symbolic, etc. I would love to discuss these with you all one day in person, but I know you all have much to do, as do I. For now, I hesitate to put too much in writing. This letter is written using illusory script, and it is protected against divination, but there are ways around such things. I have another meeting tomorrow with another entity we discussed, and we'll let you know whether anything immediately relevant to you comes up. I will post my letter from there. It should arrive within the day. If you have need of me, I should be reachable by way of sending. Mail may or may not work. If you must use mail, I suggest you direct it to the capital of Thorgrove and request they pass it to me. If you need to meet, let me know when, and we can arrange a meeting place. Otherwise, I wish you the best until we speak again. Best, Cloud. Best, Awen. P.S. Cloud, I have gone to Needle and got the distinct impression from my connection to the Weave that I had not received an invitation. I wonder, have you? I suspect it has been set up as a meeting place or a gateway, given special circumstances to allow interfacing to a different time or place, perhaps. I know not. At the time, I could have sensed no magic, no illusions, no hidden passages, nor signs of people living there. But we all know that what is there or not there at one time might not be the same the next. I have been there, though, and was sure to collect an item from the location, so if you have need of a way to travel there at some point, my services are on offer. Best, Awen.
Arwen the best, more like.
Awen,
Yeah.
the best. And that is where we will call it for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Tune in next time for more of the Mockeries.
Yes.
Mwah. Goodbye.
Bye.